Before I learned how to code, I was a full-on theater kid. Comedy theaters, late night rehearsals, improv shows practically every weekend. My brain was wired for creativity and not systems. And then I learned how to code and it rewired my brain. I stopped asking what's funny and started asking like, what's the bug? Building this personal branding AI coach did the same thing for me. It rewired how I think about branding more than any course ever actually could. When I first looked at personal branding, my thought was I literally don't have time to watch another 6-hour course on this. I've got a business to run, so my shortcut idea was grab the best personal branding courses, feed them into an AI system, and let the AI actually be my coach. Easy, right? Let it just tell me what to talk about, how to position, and what content to actually make. That's the fantasy, right? AI just does the heavy lifting and you get the cheat codes. But here's what really happened. I ended up spending 40+ hours learning content strategy, stage models, positioning, hooks, stories, just to make the AI usable. And that work taught me more than just passively watching any course on personal branding ever would have. So when I went from theater to programming, there was a clear shift. So as a theater kid, I thought in scenes and emotions. I trusted my feelings. If a joke landed, great. If not, just try again. But when I learned how to code, my brain flipped. I started thinking in inputs and outputs. I cared about edge cases. I broke problems down into practical steps. And suddenly, life looked like a series of bugs to fix. Building this personal branding AI coach forced me to kind of have the same shift with branding. I couldn't just feel my way through the personal brand anymore. I had to define my stages, pick frameworks, decide what advice applies and when, and encode that logic into an AI system. The moment the app started breaking, I realized that I don't actually understand this material well enough to teach it to an AI. And if you can't teach it, you really don't know it, and you definitely can't systematize it. For anyone who wants the AI shortcut, here's the uncomfortable truth: there isn't one. By default, AI knowledge is general. It knows a little bit about everything. It's just really good at sounding smart, and it's terrible at being you. And if you want AI to actually bend to your will and make you more productive, you have to give it the direction, like what you're actually trying to achieve, the map, how you think about getting there, and then the boat, the data and structure to actually move it through. Then you have to do just one more annoying part. Spend hours organizing the data, labeling it, building the logic so it can follow your trail of thought. And most importantly, you have to give it the brain. In other words, you have to be the expert. I went in thinking that I'm just gonna let AI be the branding expert so that I don't have to be. But the reality was, I have to understand this deeply enough to teach it step by step. Let me give you a concrete example outside of my own brand. I was on a call with a potential client this last week. They said, basically, we wanna clone our CEO before they retire. So this is what they imagined. They're gonna just record some conversations, feed them into an AI, press a button, and instantly get a CEO clone. But I had to be blunt. I told them that this only works if you think it's gonna be valuable enough to spend hours with your CEO, pull every important decision and principle out of their head, turn that into a massive amount of SOPs and examples, and then give that to the team first. And only then will an AI clone actually make sense, because that's what an AI brain really is. Everything that you know broken down into steps and patterns with a system that follows your trail of thought and strategy. Because AI cloning is not like real cloning. Someone really has to fully understand the way that you think, structure it, and then bake it into a system. If no one does that, you don't get a clone. You get a chatty search engine that occasionally sounds like you. Building the personal branding AI coach forced me to do work that I've been avoiding. Things like writing down my real business goals, admitting what stage I'm actually at, not which stage I wish I was, mapping my stories to what they prove, not just cool things that actually happened, choosing frameworks that I actually believed in instead of hoarding about 50 frameworks from the internet. And to make the coach smart, I had to become smarter. To make the coach consistent, I had to commit to a way of thinking. And to make the coach useful, I had to stop being vague. So no course could have done that for me. Courses let you kind of like sit back. But building this forced me to take a stand, take a position, and encode it into a system. So Here's the irony. I started this project because I didn't have time for a 6-hour branding course. I ended up spending over 40 hours wiring branding knowledge into an AI, and I learned more doing that than passively watching 10 courses. If you want the real shortcut with AI, it's gonna be this. Use it as a forcing function to become an expert, not to avoid expertise. So this is my suggestion. Just pick one area. I picked personal branding, but you can pick offers, sales, or operations, and try to build a tiny coach for it. You'll find all the places you don't understand your own thinking, and you have to clean them up. And once you do that, the AI becomes a multiplier of something real, not a mask over a bunch of, confusion. If you want to see how I'm turning more parts of my business into actual AI coaches, not toys, then subscribe. I'm documenting each one as I build it, and I'll show you what breaks next.